This Chevrolet Corvette needs little introduction, and with it, it brings a bunch of firsts. It's the first mid-engine Corvette, it's the first right-hand drive Corvette, and it's the first Corvette to be sold in New Zealand. But best of all for me, it's my first ever Corvette I've driven. And although it looks a little different to previous models, under this fancy new skin, it's still undoubtedly American. Back here sits a 6.2 litre LT2 engine that pumps out 369 kilowatt and 637 newton meters. In terms of performance, it'll hit 100 kilometers an hour in just 3.7 seconds, which is well into supercar territory. And just like a true supercar, it's not offered with a manual transmission. All New Zealand new Corvettes come with the Z51 Performance Package, which is basically a track package that consists of bigger brakes, better suspension, Michelin Pilot Sport tyres, better aero, and better cooling. But it's not like a car like this really needs it. Like previous Corvettes, this one is offered in both a hardtop and convertible configurations. This roof panel can be removed by hand and stored back in the boot. But for that, I'll ask my beautiful assistant to help. Thank you. On the inside, things are rather cozy, but I don't think that this is anything new for a Corvette. The two seats are separated by this large centre console with about 600 buttons on it. I mean, truth be told, there are only 20 and they're all used for the dual zone climate control. Other quirky elements in the cabin include a rather strange gear selector, a very quirky drive mode selector, and this squared off steering wheel. Anyway, enough chit chat, let's hit the track. Now obviously, a wet racetrack probably isn't the best place to be driving a high-powered rear-wheel drive American muscle car, but hey, it's good fun. On a dry track, and usually on the road, this Corvette is remarkably gripped up, and I think that's a lot to do with the engine being placed so far back. All the weight is over the rear wheels, and that wide Michelin Pilot Sport rubber just grips up and goes. When the Corvette proves to be a bit too powerful for its own good in the corners, and the grip level goes out the window, it's surprisingly predictable, you know, it slides in a very linear fashion. It's not something you'd expect from a mid-engined American car. It should come as no surprise to hear that acceleration in this thing. It's phenomenal. And the sound that that V8 makes, it's just so addictive. Like that. And there's also something so visceral about the experience of having a big burly V8 right behind your head. And while the engine is fantastic, the transmission almost outshines it. This dual clutch unit is so smooth and quick through the shifts, it's great. And when you've got it in the track driving mode, it just slams through gears like an Italian supercar. One area in which this Corvette might disappoint the driving enthusiast is in the steering. While it's very light and quick without having a big engine over it, it doesn't provide much in the way of road feedback. It's pretty common knowledge that Chevrolet used the Ferrari 458 as a benchmark when developing the C8 Corvette, and that is evident in how it drives. The way it holds the road, how refined that V8 engine is back there, it's just a quality that you wouldn't really expect from a big American muscle car, and I love it. Chevrolet has confirmed that there will be hybrid and fully electric versions of this Corvette coming out in the future, which is an exciting prospect on the performance front, but for now, let's just enjoy the sound of this fantastic V8.